It's this afternoon again, and welcome. So have you ever been tired of doing repetitive tasks all the time on the computer? Yeah? Well, we've got Yuan and Deborah here, who's going to tell us how to stop doing that and use RPA to help our lives. So yeah, welcome Yuan and
Thank
Deborah.
you. Thanks, Alan. Welcome, everyone. My name's Deb Kamp, and I'm a certified practicing accountant. Unlike other accountants, I actually have a personality. Just kidding. I moved over from the dark side, or is it to the dark side, IT, about more than a year ago now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I often act as the bridge between the business and our devs, one of them being the lovely Yuan, so that they can focus on doing what they love most. I'm also a bit of a nerd. I love solving problems, and I especially love solving problems that make our business colleagues' lives easier.
Thanks, Deb. Hi, I'm Yuan Yuan. My specialty including problem solving, get things done, learning skills and technology quickly as much as I can. I have a Master of Information Systems, a Master of Professional Accounting, and a Bachelor of Business Administration. After working in IT for a couple of years, I was kind of like, this is so easy. I can close my eyes. I don't want to retire like this. And I wanted to learn more. I'm craving to learn more and learn something different. So far, I have C#, SQL, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Yes, I know programming languages. Dynamics CRM, ERP system, maximal asset management, procurement and supply chain management, even quality and assurance, which is testing. Today, we're here to talk about robotic process automation. I hope it's getting you excited, which is inspired by my favorite person, Zhang. Are you here, Zhang? Who is a senior UiPath developer. So let's keep the ball rolling. Thank you for our sponsors. Without you guys, we wouldn't be standing here present in this beautiful Optus Stadium. So let's get it started.
I'd like to start with a quote from William Edwards Deming. He's the father of quality management. He said that 85% of the reasons for failures are deficiencies in systems and processes, and not the employee. It is for management to improve these processes and systems rather than badgering individuals to do better. We saw some of this post-COVID, where companies were challenged with the Great Resignation. They were challenged to make processes and systems more efficient so that their employees could focus on value-add tasks. So how can we help our business colleagues to focus on less of the boring stuff and more of the good stuff? Well, this is where RPA comes into play. Robotic Process Automation is the use of bots to automate high-volume, repetitive, and manual tasks that humans might normally do. Tasks like form filling, data entry, transferring data from one system to the other, to more complex workflows and calculations. According to Gartner, in 2022, the RPA market was valued at $2.6 billion. That grew in 2023 to $3.2 billion. So this space is well worth looking at. So today, we're going to go through the history of RPA, where to implement RPA, how to implement RPA, and what's in it for you. RPA has come a long way. Since the 1990s, it was used for interface testing. This really laid the foundations for RPA. We move on to the year 2000s, where RPA was used in screen scraping technology for high volume transactions in the banking and insurance industries. Moving along to the year 2010s, RPA was used to mimic human interactions with digital applications, and it was the beginning of using artificial intelligence with machine learning. Then we move to where we are today. RPA is used within a wide range of business industries, performing complex calculations and workflows, returning value to businesses, and making processes and systems more efficient. What we hear right now sounds pretty cool, but where can we implement RPA? Well, to answer that question, I'd like to welcome you to the world of finance. Have any of you been in this world or seen this world? I see some nods around the room. And as I explained earlier, I also come from this world. You can probably see me in the bottom row there. Yeah? Yes, it is a very demanding and challenging world, the finance department, and believe it or not, there are still stacks of paper. There are inconsistent processes, there are single points of failure, there are manual processes, very repetitive and high volume, and it's not uncommon to see an unhappy face in finance, especially during month end. Businesses more than ever are demanding more from their finance business partners. They're looking for them to predict future profitability and earnings and analyze profit margins. But how can they do this if they're spending time on the boring stuff and not the value-add stuff? Well, this is where the opportunity arises. We can look at RPA. But before we do that, we need to do two things. Hands up. Has anyone ever asked anyone, why are you doing a process a certain way? Anyone? Yeah? Cool, and keep your hands up if the answer is because we've always done it this way. Yeah? Yeah, well, that's a good place to start, and engaging with our stakeholders is really important. They're the ones doing the processes, and we need to understand why they're doing things a certain way. Has anyone heard of the 3 whys? The 3 whys, yes, I see some hands up. The 3 whys comes from a concept developed by a Japanese inventor in the 1900s. His name is Sakichi Toyoda, and he actually came up with the 5 whys, but we've shortened it to be more efficient to the 3 whys. The idea is that by asking why over and over and over again, we'll eventually get to the source of the problem or the answer to our question. And by asking our stakeholders why, they come along on the journey. Sometimes they even answer or come up with their own solutions to their problems. It's a really great way of engaging with our stakeholders and helping them understand that we're trying to make their working lives better. Another great piece of advice comes from Elon Musk. He said, "A common fault of a smart engineer is to optimize a thing that shouldn't exist at all." How bad would it if we automated a process that should just not be there? He's come up with 5 design principles. So after we've asked our 3 whys, and we've run through the 5 design principles being make requirements less dumb, simplify or delete parts of the process, simplify the process, accelerate the process, then we can look at automating the process. This is where the opportunity arises. This is where it gets really exciting, and we can help our finance colleagues. We can look at automating workflow automations to approve authorizations. We can look at automating accounts payable. And to tell us more on how, I'd love to hand over to Yuan.
Thanks, Deb. Okay, as IT people, let's start our work. How to implement RPA? Well, the first step is obvious. We document the current process, map the process as it is. That will help us to design what the future process going to be. During this process, it's easy for us to find the repetitive tasks and the boring tasks. We also need to get our organization and people involved. you know how many times after we develop a new software, the people don't want to use it. So at the beginning, get the people started, get the people involved, and then keep them in the loop. We also need to choose the right RPA tools. Think about your budget, how much money you invest, and how much you want to gain afterwards. And as IT developers, when we're doing the implementation phase, we also need to consider our best friends, the testers. So we need to cover all those user cases, make our testers happy as well. And then finally, when we roll out the RPA process automation, make sure to have one thing in mind: continual improvement. It doesn't mean the project is finished. You need to continue keep updated the user guide, keep all the manual process documented and automatic new process documented as well. In case someday, you got a better opportunity, you left, then your other colleagues can pick it up, have a better reputation in your older organization. We all know how smart a person IT is, right? Cool. Let's move to this exciting part, RPA solution designer. How many of the architecture here, please put your hands up? Awesome. I know how much you love solution design documentation. That's the picture indicates what it looks like. Hope you don't mind. Yeah. And then so many times as developers, we're using your architect big brains, the solution design reports as a blueprint. Then based on your design systems, we do our coding and then trying to develop the new project. And then how often the project failed is really up to our architecture. So you got a really heavy and lifting to the whole IT department. And we love you guys, of course. Okay, I try to behave myself. In my recent experience, because my background is Dynamics 365 and Power Automate, I have the opportunity to see the business challenges, especially the manual process in different areas. For example, on the top picture, which is the current manual process, an email received sent into accounts payable department, and then the AP department need to get the manager approval. Then they send the email again, ask the manager approve. The manager, you know what did? Has to print out a paper, signed, and then scanned, send the email back to the AP department. Then the accounts payable officer, you know what they do? Manual typing the data into Excel spreadsheet. And then after that, archive the email into SharePoint. How many times you spend doing this? 10 minutes. You can order a coffee downstairs or go out 10 minutes, right? Then I found this is a great opportunity. Every time I heard people talk about send an email, printer, no, that's a red flag for me, but I saw opportunity. So what I did is I worked with the stakeholder at the beginning, like I said, keep organization and people involved and let them get excited. I created a simple Canvas app embedded into Dynamics ERP system, which means the AP officer can just automatically see the customer's detail, click a button, the approval will send through to the manager for approve. Then the manager can approve this while you're waiting, downstairs for the coffee on the Apple Watch through Teams app, approve or decline. So you save the time. Also, you have your work-life balance Then it's really exciting. They really enjoyed it, and I was happy because in my head, I got an accounting background. I know how much IT people love auditors. So let's say at the year end, the auditor will ask who approved what, what's the documentation, who touched each different touch point. They all saved in Dataverse, and it's really secure because we can see the actual time in the time frame. So I was like, oh, surely there are better ways to do things. Then I've learned attendant and unattended version of RPA technology, which got excited. And I also learned attendant RPA technology involve human in the loop, which means it still involves person to dealing with the sensitive data while the bots doing the automatic way. It's still new to me. I'm still learning by doing it. But lucky, our PERS community is very supportive. And I got more people like you guys come here today to support us. So thank you so much for that. Yeah. We talk about the RPA tools. I was mentioning about Power Automate because that's the tool I know. However, I'm not only interested about Power Automate. Microsoft sponsors that. I didn't get sponsorship from there, so I start looking for other tools, which is like UiPath, Blueprints. Is really exciting. And the things over there, for example, in Microsoft, you got Power BI reports. In UiPath, guess what they have? They have the process mining. Have a look of it or Google it. It's really exciting because it can predict the data and then which department is doing what. When you choose the RPA tools, I listed the 5 factors, which is quite essential for all of us. One thing I want to highlight is it's relevant to us. As IT department, how many times have you seen people from different departments purchase their own software without telling you and expect you to support it? So I highlighted the 4th one. Involve your IT department as a key partner. Why is that? You need to prepare the service level agreement, who support what. So it's really essential, keep us in the loop, because we show respect to our main stakeholders. Also, they need to involve us at the beginning when they choose the right RPA tools. The benefits of RPA tools. For now, you probably already know it's not only boosts the productivity, efficiency, reduce the human errors, and make your life much fun, and you can focus more time doing the meaningful work, and maybe hang out with your colleague for a social event, like go out for a coffee. When you are happy at work, you can be more productive and get things done. So these are all the benefits, and you don't need to worry too much about whether this box failed or not, as long as we have electricity. Yeah, which is much better. I think that's all for my presentation. Haven't finished yet. I still have one. If you're still thinking about what RPA technology benefit us, should I use it? One question: do you want more money? Then you will know.
So I'd just like to say, what are we going to do with this information today? Sounds like we're going to get more money. But we challenge you to be more curious, embrace a growth mindset, and learn more about RPA. Consider getting RPA certified. And this it doesn't only apply to IT professionals. It can apply to business analysts and project managers and even financial controllers that want to make more money. So go out there. Let's fix 85% of those failures that are due to processes and systems. Remember the 3 whys. Follow Elon Musk's 5 design principles and look at where you can implement RPA. To learn more, or if you want to talk to myself and Yuan afterwards, please feel free. Look us up on LinkedIn. We'd love to hear from you and connect with you. Thank you for listening to our talk today.
Thank you, Yuan and Deborah. Are there any questions?
Hi team, where should a newbie start? Any training or anything else you guys can recommend?
Yes, well, where I started in my IT career is looking at certifications that can give me that knowledge, that kind of ground framework to then take that and bring it to my work. So I've looked at Microsoft certifications, and that's helped me to understand the systems that I'm using. On-the-job training, so please engage with your leaders and managers to see how they can support you in your learning and development and send you on courses, because at the end of the day, if they invest in you, they will be able to see the value that it provides by the work that you do in your role. Thanks for that question. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, so you used Microsoft tools to do the job.
Yes.
What were some of the technical challenges in using those tools?
To be honest, there are so many resources, but some of them are actually not relevant. In reality, the difficulty, the business challenger is the most like challenging part. Because sometimes as IT people, we create the solution, we think that will solve the problem. But in reality, as a changing world, and business change adapts as well. So as IT people, we need to keep changing it. Let's say the tool, Power Automate, you built 3 months ago, is got a new released feature. All of a sudden, one of the conditions made redundant. Then you have to figure out some other like methodology or tools to do it. Now I start looking into the purple way, which is by using Blue Prism and UiPath, and it's really popular in over East. They've got like hundreds of companies actually use it. But in Perth, as far as I know, FMG use it, HBF use it, not really many people use it, unfortunately. So that's the reason I want to draw your attention. Actually, there are vast of opportunities in WA. So why nobody know other tools? What's happening here? Yeah.
Thanks for that question.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for the talk. Just wondering about generative AI, Gen AI stuff. They're talking about AI agents. Will they be doing this sort of stuff, and will it make it easier?
That's a really good question, because when I think of RPA, I was trying to sell, because everyone's talking about AI. Not, I want to be something different. We are unicorn, you know, finance, IT. So RPA, let's make it solo and very attractive. For me, RPA and AI, they are more, let's say, I was talking about the attendant RPA and unattendant. Unattendant is purely bots. They do, as long as your machine there, it do all the things for you, even log on applications, do things. But AI and robot, RPA, attendant RPA, for me, is more like your assistant. So we are the human, and technology, we always say 3 things: technology, people, process. RPA is actually making the process much easier for people. And then when we choose the right technology, regardless AI or RPA, it's actually serving the people. So together, combine the people like workforce together and the technology, it makes the work life much fun and much better. Then you can create more great things. So I keep emphasizing that you don't need to worry about AI or RPA like take over your job. It should be the other way around. It creates more job opportunities for you to actually embrace the new technology and to learn while to see any new area you can use these tools. Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Yuan and Deborah. If anyone
you.
would like to have a chat with them afterwards, you definitely can.
Yep.
Can
With
I
our
get a
free
huge
chocolate.
applause for Yuan and Deborah, please? Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, Alan. Great.
So our next talk in this room is Don't Cross the Streams, an introduction to streaming data in Node.js.